Alright everyone, last speech. So if y'all remember my previous few speeches, they're all about technology and fear and how we should pay attention to that kind of stuff. Well, for this speech, I'm actually going to try to change what's wrong with our beloved Western society in terms of fear and ignorance of technology or science. So as an initial step, what is wrong? Our world is growing exponentially both in population and the rate at which new technologies are born. People have the longest lifespans we've ever seen. We can travel distances we've never fathomed we could just 2 mere centuries ago. We can indulge in whatever we want, whenever we want, and pretty much anywhere we want. Thank you, Internet. Western civilization in particular has never been more detached from the real world. Our lives revolve around our technology. I've seen so many people talk about how our phones are technically make us cyborgs because of how interconnected they are with our daily lives, with our minds. According to D-Scout, people use their phones an average of 2,617 times per day. In a world of media, we're shown the marvels we create every day. New and fun ideas in engineering transform our lives within the blink of an eye, showing us how truly convenient we can make just existing. Every year there's a new and improved iPhone coming out, with competitors racing to be the next big thing. So what is our problem? Why should any of us be concerned with the rate of technology? We have everything our ancestors could have only dreamed of, right? Well, the way I see it, the problem lies in how we view the technology, or the future of technology and science for humanity. We are in a cultural age of normativity, where fitting in and flowing with what we are given is second nature to us. In a world where nearly every basic need is fulfilled for us, and our use of the phrase first world problem is commonplace, we've lost our drive. Key people in today's society, like Elon Musk, an example I will never stop using because of how awesome he is, are the ones putting their foot in the metaphoric cosmic door of recognition, saying, wait, don't just shut us out just yet. Give us a chance to let us do something astounding. We all have an internal drive to contribute, to keep humanity's flame alive one way or another. So why are we reveling in our successes in technology when we have so much more to go? I'm not even mentioning problems in the future that we actually have to address and we aren't, like the renewable energy crisis and pollution and global warming and the eventual lack of resources like food. According to Michael Mann in his article about climate change, we have until about 2036 before we'll start seeing the effects of climate change. That is an incredibly short time. The fact that these environmental problems are still an issue for America especially shows that we aren't really passionate about solving it. People accept that these problems exist and try to wait it out until someone comes along to fix them, to fix the problem for them, just like everything else. People don't want their lifestyles to change. For example, according to a Reuters Ipsos poll, 2/3 of Americans don't trust the idea of a car driving for them. Now, I'm sorry, but when I first saw this, I was absolutely appalled. Machines are, by definition, better calculators and logical thinkers than humans, and that's why we created them. So where is this fear coming from? It seems to have no roots in any logical thinking, and it's holding us back. The perception of technological growth in America is very negative compared to the rest of the world, and I have a couple solutions that I think are pretty ambitious but will definitely help solve the problem. So if our perception of technology is what is at fault, we should change it. I say there should be more of an emphasis of science in schools to push the real-world application of problem solving. With this, children will grow up thinking about what's happening in the world, and they will be much more in touch with it and capable of changing it. With a wider breadth of knowledge about science, these kids will become adults who are not afraid of technology because they understand it. Pushing for this sort of scientific literacy in America would especially benefit us as a society. On the University of Melbourne's scientific platform, where people can post their opinions about several issues regarding science, one post talks about scientific literacy and the importance of it. He or she, I don't know, says, quote, "From my experience going through my Bachelor of Science, I believe being scientifically literate has made me a better person. It taught me to approach problems and issues in an unbiased perspective, to observe and rationalize your thoughts before making an informed decision." Neil deGrasse Tyson put it nicely in an interview with Stephen Colbert. He says, "Science is a way of equipping yourself with the tools to interpret what happens in front of you. So even if you are not involved in scientific research or have a career in science, the skills you develop while learning science can benefit you and other aspects of your life." End quote. So you see, scientific literacy is not only tremendously important for understanding the world around us and eliminating fear toward technology, but it also improves people's sense of rationality, which, at its core, is really what I'm after. Science and technology has marked every great advancement throughout humanity, from the Stone Age to the Enlightenment to the Industrial Revolution, and I think that a new age will rise with a culture that embraces science as an endeavor truly worth living for. Another part of the problem is global awareness of science. Rather than just restating what I have before about institutionalized scientific literacy, I'll propose something a bit more monumental. If humanity truly wants to move forward as a species, we're going to have to put our cultural and societal differences aside. If we create a global scientific initiative focused on pushing the world forward, we can harness the combined power of every capable nation on the planet. An entire planet working towards the same goal together sounds like world peace to me, and maybe this is where it starts. With a massive global scientific community, news outlets from around the world would spread scientific information like wildfire, igniting inspiration in people everywhere. All of this would inevitably increase scientific literacy without a doubt. There are projects and organizations that exist in the world today, such as Canada's Waterloo Global Scientific Initiative, which works with countries all over the world to help push sustainability in the environment, or GÉANT and EMBL, sources that work to digitally link the world through the internet. Movements like these are working to make the best of their country's financial grace and reach out to other countries with similar goals. I urge the US to do the same. The only foreseeable problem with a global scientific community is that greed would kick in and certain countries will want to control more over certain technologies developed within. To this, I say that countries with equal representation in this global community should push for utter transparency, allowing anyone to be able to see for themselves what's happening and how it's directly helping humanity as a whole, not just for one country or group. Technology is extremely important in any society and is our key to pushing the human race into the utopia we have all imagined. Our generation holds the power of the millions of generations past and more, so it is our job to carry the torch to new heights. Science will allow us to develop more and more, and we shouldn't stop at waiting for the time to come. We need to push for scientific literacy and a global force to usher in a new wave for mankind that will open up so many exciting new frontiers within this generation. The future is up for grabs, and who will be there to embrace it when it matters most? It will belong to those who are yearning for change, to those who look up at the sky, searching for something more in life, to those with a burning passion in their minds, restlessly waiting for someone to set it alight, those who reimagine and think outside of the box, those who think critically, those who take the first step, those who work hard for what they want, and of course, the dreamers.